Yes, shalom, Chabarim, shalom. This is Yadon. This is Yadon saying shalom, Yeshua shalom, aka Ras Iodonis Tafara LOJ, the line of Judah Society, LOJS.org. Rastafari Israelites. That's channel 1 on the YouTubes. Yes, channel 1 on the YouTubes. And Rastafari Foundation, the backup channel, channel 2. But here. Here, we like to touch on the 10 words that's falsely called the 10 Commandments. I know we're going to call this particular vlog here something to the effect of why there is no 10 Commandments. No 10 Commandments in the Bible. Maybe that'll be it. Because we're going to be like, what? This guy's crazy. This guy don't know what he's saying. He's off, you know? But actually, are we really? Okay, that there's no such thing as 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible. No such thing as 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible. I think that's good right there. Let's go with that right now. No 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible. Right? So saw this meme here. Not too sure which channel. I think I've seen the channel. Give thanks to these ones and ones who did it, because when we went around, we was looking around like on the, for like still slides, memes, on different subject matters. You might go search, put the words in there, and then you search and you see what you find. And from everything that we found a lot that we would like to share right here. Right? We also, this is false here. Right? This is false right here. Right? Here it says Aseret HaDibarot. Right? I like Chaim ben Torah, but sometimes I say Ben which Torah, right? Like son of what Torah, right? But here they have Aseret HaDibrot. Now, in modern Jewry tend to say from their teaching, among the Ashkenazi and other modern Jews, modern Yahadut, they often refer to as the Aseret HaDibarot. Now, you see where they have Exodus 31 and 18? Let's go there for a moment. 31 and 18. Now here we're in Exodus chapter 20, where we have the 10 words. So more correctly, it's the Decalogue. Decalogia. It's the 10 words. Mamarinya asertu kalat. In the Royal Amharic, it's also 10 words. Right? Asertu kalat, the 10 words. So right here. Let's go to, what was that? That was Exodus 31:18. 31:18. So scroll up here to 31, verse 18. Right, verse 18. Let's go down to KJV. Right. So we see right here, right? It says right here, and he gave to Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables or tablets of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. Now, I don't see it here in this verse, anything about 10. It says 2 tables. Let's look at the Hebrew, because they quoted Hebrew there, right? Here it says, Wayatain il Moshe kaloto ale daber ito behar Sinai shnei luchota ha eduta luchota eben ketubim be etzba Elohim. So there's nothing there. That's a false meme right there. I just want to point that out. A false meme, right? A false meme. We're looking at 31:18. You see 31:18? In case one say, well, that's not the Tanakh. Well, here's the Tanakh, right? Looking over it, very same words right here. No such thing as 10 anything here, right? So here, let's go over here, right? Let's go here. And so here, so there's a lot of false memes out there. Right, a lot of misinformation, disinformation out there. Some of it is like sincere disinformation. People believe it, but it's not true. So over here, so if you go through, you'll basically see 10, right? 10 commands, right? It'll say 10 commandments. So all over it basically says 10 commands, but the more correctly it's 10 words. Why don't they say 10 words? Why do they lie? Right? What's up with that? And here's another deeper road. So modern Jewry, when you read some of the modern Jewry information, right? Though they stick to it in the scripts, they will still bring it out. Okay, look right here. It's 10 Commandments. This is the same verse right here. It says, "Why yitena el Moshe ke kaloto," right? And he gave to Moses, wa and yitain el Moshe, right? Ke kaloto ledaber. He gave to him, right? When he had finished, ke kaloto ledaber, speaking, ito, with him, right? Behar Sinai, in Mount Sinai, Shnei Luchot, we're looking at this one right here. Shnei Luchot, right? Shnei, two Luchot, two tablets, right? Eben, right? Ketubim, right? Eben, stone, Ketubim, right? Stone, tablets of stone, right? Tablets of stone, Luchot Eben, right? Ketuvim, that was Katav, written, Be'etzeba, Etzeba, right? By the finger, right? Elohim, by the finger of Elohim. So they say up here on the masthead, it says 10 Commandments, right? And then they say Aseret Hadibarot. Now, Dibarot means words, feminine, words plural, but in the Hebrew, it's actually Aseret Hadibarim. So it's Dibarim, not Dibarot. I always wonder why they always say Dibarot among many modern Yehudis and Jews, Even though other things they are right and accurate with, I wonder about this. How did that become the so-called tradition? So here the Etzeba, Elohim, right? Finger of Elohim, Etzeba, right? Now, okay, here, 10 Commandments. You see over here, 10 Commandments. Just scrolling through. There's some highlights from what we had come across, right? And give a little brief commentary. Then let's go through this right here. Let's go through this. Okay, we go over here. Like to get a copy of this here. Much of the New Testament is also and was also the Hebrew, right? So we try to study along the Hebrew and even the Koine Greek. This is like an interesting book right there. As James, Yaakov, the epistle to James, backs up also 10 words being one commandment. So scripture basically brings out that the 10 words is one commandment. But, you go around and whether it has Hebrew on it or not, they still say 10 commandments. I don't know if it's just a Western Gentile tradition or it becomes so popular that in spite of the fact that the scripts say the 10 words, S. Robert Maddox here, we haven't read this book, but would like to, he at least says we know he's correct when he says the 10 words. And he said reflection from the 10 commandments, right? But you at least put those 10 words large, right? 10 words. This is properly what it is in the Hebrew. It's the 10 words, not the 10 commandments. These 10 words are one command. So you have the first word of the commandment, the second word of the commandment, the third word of the commandment, right? This is what the royal order of the Ethiopian Hebrews, what we teach. You know what I mean? That's Rastafari. Yes, Rastafari Yehudim. Rastafari Israelites. Yes. So here. I'm going to show this. No, this is the same false. We say this is false here. We understand that they do this, but this is false. And so far, we haven't received the sufficient reasons for why they say dibrot instead of right hadibarim. This is what Torah says, hadibarim. So dibrot, as we said, is the feminine way, is saying words she, words like feminine, the ot, instead of dibarim, the yod mean. Why do they do that? Right here, this is asara. Debria. I think this is that right there was what's like the Aramaic, right? Here we have mitzvah. Now, actually, the 10 words is called ha. Add a definite article here. Ha mitzvah. Mitzvah or mitzvah is the command, right? So the 10 words is one command. Ha mitzvah. Ha mitzvah. right? Now it's interesting when Yeshua was asked about, the commandments, the greater commandment, which is the greater. It's kind of interesting that he answered what he answered. When we consider if his 10 commandments, you expected him to quote the first and second commandment that we have in Exodus chapter 20, called the 10 commandments, but he doesn't. All right, just take note of it, fellow Talmudim Chabarim, right there. Okay, so the 10 words. Now over here, this is from Hebrew for Christians. Give thanks, John J. Parsons. His site has been like an outsourced site. In addition to our information, we like a lot of his information. It's very accurate. Here. I'd like to give a little support as well. I think we did one time, but we'd like to do it again. But here, he quotes this right here, Exodus 34:28, right? And he, speaking of Yahweh, wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant. Now, you see what it says 10 commands. We're going to show you that everywhere you see in the KJV where they say 10 commands, like 10 commandments, is false. It's a false translation, right? It's a false translation. It's a pseudo translation. Now here we have Vayiktov al haluchota eta dibreya ha brit aseret ha dibarim. So let's try to zoom in on it. Right, I can't zoom in more than that, but it's right over there. We don't have a pointer right here. Let's see right here. Oh, there we go, right there. Okay, let's see. It's what we're trying to center, the Hebrew at the bottom right there. Aseret HaDebarim. Now, if you can read the Greek at the bottom next to LXX, it says Deca Logos, Deca Logos. Right? Deca means 10, like we say December, December. Yeah, 10. So here, right now, I think he zooms in right here. Now, notice over here. No, go back right there. Let's bring this up. Okay, you see what it says 10 declarations. So here he brings out his 10 declarations. But notice right here, if you will, you see where it says Aseret, Ha Dibarim. You see what it says Ha Dibarim. So Ha is a definite article. Then it's from Dabar, right, which means word, matter, declaration, right? Diber means to declare, often translated in the sense of to speak, to declare, right? Speak, to declare, right? So here's a breakdown of, you see right there where it has, we read it from right to left, where it's Aseret, right? Hadibarim. So here in the notes of it, of course, bringing out perfectly Aseret Hadibarim, the 10 declarations, right? Or more simply, the 10 words. But even here on his, he says the 10 commandments because it's just so popular that we would say 10 commandments. 10 commandments, 10 commandments. I mean, even sometimes I'd be like, oh yeah, the first command. I said, no, it's not the first command. It's the first word of the commandment. So let's prove one thing first right here, right? I want to show here where these ones here, this one here has it right too. Aseret HaDebarim. This is perfectly right here. You see right there? Aseret HaDebarim. Aseret HaDebarim. Not Aseret HaDibrot. Right? That's not what the Torah doesn't say that. We haven't found that anywhere in Torah. The Aseret HaDibrot. What we find in Torah is Aseret HaDebarim. Right? The 10 of the words, the 10 words. So I wanted to show those who got it right, who got it accurate scripturally, and also to kind of compare and contrast. Let's see if we got any more to share right here before we get into it, right? And not only do they say that, many ones and ones, right? Do they say 10 commandments, but how they number, the numbering of the 10 commandments. Right? The numbering of the 10 commandments also appears to be off. Here's where this chart here is of some very important usage right here. Where do we have it right here? Let's scroll down here. Right. Where's that chart? Okay, it's a little further down. I think it's right there. There we go, right there. Right? Let's bring that out. The numbering. Wait, why is this? There we go. Okay, you know what I mean? The numbering. Some begin with, the Protestants begin with, you shall have no other gods but me, as you see over here. That's the Protestant, right? The Catholics say, I, the Lord your God, am your God. You shall have no other gods besides me. But the Hebrew, right, or under the Judaic, Yahadut, is Anoki, Yahweh Loheka, Anoki Adonai Loheka, right? Who has brought you, Hosetika, out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. That's the first word of the command. So that's a secondary point there that we'll like to touch on and address as well, right? And also, why did Yeshua, right, say what he said when they asked about what's the great commandment, right? And what's the second? Now, remember, the so-called 10 commandments, as they tell you, so be 2 commandments. Why didn't Yeshua, right? Why didn't Jesus, right? Why didn't he quote what they call the first and second commandment? You see, that's a question there, right? That's a question. So there is no 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible, right? No 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible. Instead, it is the 10 words, or one might say the 10 utterances, or one might say the 10 declarations. Are you ready for the proof? All right, let's get to the proof right here. Let's prove our point. Okay, so here, we was at Exodus, because we went to, we saw the Chaim Ben Torah site, right? And sometimes I like that thing, but sometimes they get it wrong, or they're going with the Aramaic. I'm not too sure what they're doing, but anyway, that was false, right? So here we have the 10 words, right, where the 10 words begin off right here, right? And it begins with this right here, right? It says, why daber, and declaring and speaking Elohim, the creator, the judge, Yahweh's title as creator, right? And judge, why daber Elohim et kol ha debarim ha'ele lemor. Now here it says, spoke all these words. So here is the word debarim, right? And here is the word call ha debarim. So just to see that right there, debarim. Debarim is from debar. Debar plus the yod mim to make it a masculine plural by adding the vav tav, or the wav tawe, right? The wt, or the ot, that's the feminine, the dibarot that we touched on earlier. But here it's called ha-debarim, right? All these words, right? So here, let's get to this part here. Let's move this over, and let's do this right here. So here, we're going to look up commandments, all right? So there's 11 verses in the King James Version of the Bible, Old and New, that either has 10 or commandments there, right? Not 10 commandment verses, but like this one says written. So we're not looking for that. But this is important here in Exodus 24:12, where it says, and Yahweh said to Moshe, come up to me into the mount and be there. And I will give thee tablets of stone, and a law and commandments that I have written, that thou mayest teach them. So here in Exodus 24:12. Now remember, this is after Exodus chapter 20, where he gave the 10 words, right? The 10 words, right? He says that to come up, right, to me in the mount and be there. You remind me of the song, I'll be there, that I'll be there. That's what I'm thinking when Yahweh said to Moshe, and be there. I'll be there, right? I'll be there. I love that tune. And I will give thee tables or tablets of stone. Right? The tablets of stone, right? L'chota ebin, right? The tablets of stone, and a law. And a what? A Torah, direction, instruction. Not law, but direction, instruction, right? And commandments. So the word for commandments is mitzvot, or mitzvot. Modern Hebrew mitzvot. Ancient pointing mitzvah. Here we have it singular. Mitzvah is commandment. I want you to check this out. You see what the word for commandment is? Mitzvah. Some say mitzvah. royal order, the ancient pointing, the old pointing, mitzvah, mitzvah, right? Mitzvah, 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 mitzvah. Here, commandment. You get it? Commandment, mitzvah, mitzvah. Yes? Okay, let's go to the next entry. So here we have the first entry where in Exodus 34:28 it says, and he was there with Yahweh 40 days. Remember, that's about 10, right? We have the chapter here, and then we have over here, he was with Yahweh, right? 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables, the tablets, the words, the Debarim, right? Divrei, right? Berit, the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. You see the word commandment? Now, people paying attention, if you know how to use this, software with the study software, you see that the word next to commandment or the numbering is H1697. But we established that the word for commandment here, right, in the quote from Exodus 24:12 is actually the H4687. That's mitzvah or mitzvah. Mitzvah, mitzvah, right? There. That's the word for commandment. You see commandment, mitzvah, right? So over here, right, we notice a different number in word, right? Here it says what? Dabar. Now we established that dabar is word, speech, utterance, yes? 10 utterances, 10 declarations, or more simply put, 10 words, like Decalogue, right? Decalogue. That's why we say there's no such thing as 10 commandments in Hebrew, or in the Hebrew Bible, or in the Hebrew Torah. It's only here. See, if I say it's not in the Bible, somebody will go here and they'll say, oh, he's lying, it's in the Bible. But it's a false translation. This is a false translation in KJV. When I say false, it's not true. What do we call it? Not true translation? Right? Look at the note. Let's look at the note. The note says commandments here is words. Right? Mitzvot is commandments, and debarim is words. So it says aseret ha-debarim. Right? Let's go through it. Eser, and asara. Eser, asara. Eseret means 10 of. Eseret, 10 of. Ha-debarim, of the words. Eseret ha-debarim. Right? Just to bring it out right here. Let's go down here. Here we go right here. Here's the verse. Wayahi Shamma'im Yahuwah Arba'im Yoma wa Arba'im Laila Lechem Lo Akala Ua Mayima Loa Shata Wayikatov Ha'ala Ha'luchota et dibrei, right? Ha-brit, asaret, ha-debarim. Asaret, ha-debarim. Let's highlight those words right there so these ones who can read the Hebrew or recognize, the symbols, right? The shape sigils, we'll see. Asaret, ha-debarim. Those two words, right? Those two words. In fact, let's do this right here. Right? Notice this right here. Let's put this to Hebrew. Let's put this to Hebrew. Right? Look at that. Now, this is a lie. Look at that right there. The Google Translate's a lie. Right? Let's take out this right here. Let's prove it to you. Prove that they're lying. Right? Let's go back out. Right? Let's go back out. Right? And let's just highlight this word right here. So even the Google Translate there lies. You see what it says? You see what it says? Ha-debarim. Right? You see that? Right? What do we have right there? Let's see if you can hear this for yourself. Right?
הדברים.
Ha-devarim, 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 ha-debarim.
הדברים.
Ha-devarim. You see what it says? The words. Right? I just highlighted the words, but when I highlighted together, the Google Translate gave a false. So those in the kibbutzim, correct that there, correct that. We got to be right and accurate, right? Ha-devarim, right? Devarim, the modern Hebrew enunciation, ancient Afro-Semitic. Ha-debarim, 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 ha-devarim, ha-debarim, the words. You can see it very clear here.
הדברים.
Which is?
The words.
The what?
הדברים.
Which is
The words.
ha,
הדברים.
which is
The words.
okay. So you got the word up, word up, word up, right? So we see that right there. So we see that even the note tells us that it's a false translation, right? Right. So that's one proof. There's a 2 or 3 witnesses, right? 2 or 3 witnesses, every word be established. This is the first, right? From scripts, right? So KJV gives a false, right, translation there. Here in Deuteronomy 4:13, same thing. And he declared to you his covenant. So the covenant is berit, berit, like Brit is shortened, berit is more lengthened. Berit, Brit, right? What that he commanded you to perform. To perform is to asa is to do, right? It says even italicized words in KJV are not there. Just a point of order. The Talmudim know this, but for others, when we read, often we would read it without the italicized words because they're not there in the Hebrew. 10 commandments. So here they say 10 commandments, but it's the same H1697 Debar. And we look at the text, we'll see Aseret HaDebarim. Aseret, the 10 of Asa, Asara, Eser, and Asara, 10. Aseret, the 10 of Hadebarim, the words. And he wrote them upon 2 tables or tablets of ebon, right? 2 tables of stone. So this is our second, right? So so far we have as a witness, can I get a witness? Exodus 34:28, right? False translation. It should be the 10 words. In Deuteronomy 4:13, it should not be 10 commandments properly translated, but 10 words. 2 or 3 witnesses. Can we get another witness? Here we got another witness, Deuteronomy 10:4. So far we've given 2 witnesses, and this is our third. 2 or 3 words, like 2 or 3 witnesses, every word be established. Just establish this truth that there's no such thing, right? No 10 commandments in the Hebrew Bible, right? Why KJV lie? Or why there's a false translation. I mean, how you want to say? Or why they made a mistake there? Well, like, and this is weird. Like we just showed you the software, translation software, right? And there, right, needs to be corrected because somebody must have put that in to say 10 commandments, Asaret HaDevarim. But then when we isolate the word words, right? The word devarim, we clearly see that it's words. Here, Deuteronomy 10:4, and he wrote on the tables, the tablets, which is the luchot, right? According to the first writing. The 10, here once again, 10 commandments. Notice that the word after commandments, the blue letter, right, is the H 1697, the bar, BDB, Brown's Drivers Briggs, right? That's the BDB. It says word, speech. We scroll down here. Strong's Concordance says a word, a matter, a thing spoken of. 10 words, aseret. And the 10 is eser, asara, eseret, which means 10, right? The 10 words that Yahweh spake. Remember that he spake to you in the mount, right? Behar, right? Bahar. And the mount, what mount? Mount Sinai. That's not Deuteronomy, that's Exodus chapter 20, where the 10 words, where we started out, Exodus chapter 20. Yeah? When he spoke. Remember, they heard the voice, they heard Yahweh speaking out of the midst of fire. That's Exodus chapter 20, right? Out of the midst of the fire, right? The Aish, right? In the day of the what? Assembly. And Yahweh, right, gave them to me. Now look at the note. There's a note there. The note here says words. So even with this software, we're using the My Sword. This is My Sword software, right? But notice over here in Deuteronomy 4:13, they didn't put the note there, but at least they put the note the first time that it appears properly, 10 Commandments in Exodus 34:28. The note here says Hebrew. You see the HEB is for Hebrew. So the English, they make you believe that it's commandments, mitzvot, but actually it's debarim. And then some of the Yehudi say hadibrot, and we say, well, can you tell us where you get the dibrot from when the scripture is clear where it says debarim, debarim, words male, words masculine plural, not dibrot, feminine plural. I mean, what's going on there, right? Just a question, right? And so we go over here, we have the same false translation. We bring out debar, right? Right, but what they don't do here, what they do this here actually, they put commandments words, right? And then over here where it says all thy commandments, notice this over here. It's the H4687, which is mitzvah, 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 right? Word for commandment, right? Commandment, right? It's like what Robbeinu, Einai Rabbi, Yeshua HaNotzre, the Rabbi, Yeshua HaMoshiach. You know what he says? Following after the commandments of men, right? People are telling you it's 10 commandments, but when ones like us show you that it's actually 10 words, right? It's 10 words. I mean, if you just pay attention to the blue letter word, you'll see, right? 10 what? 10 words, right? Let's see if we find this anywhere. Commandments. Notice that. Notice that the 3 places, there are actually 3 places in the scripture, right, that it directly says 10 commandments. Once again, Exodus 34:28, we prove that this is the 10 words. Word up, right? The 10 words. Over here in Deuteronomy 4:13, where it says 10 commandments, we prove that this too is the barim. Ha-debarim is words, right? Debar, debarim, right? And over here in Deuteronomy 10:4, right, it is also the 10 words, and even their note brings it out, the 10 words. The 10 words. All right. So something that we wanted to do, if we have a little bit of time here, let's bring this up for a moment. And let's look at some of the other translations. All right. It says the 10 rules. So in this version, BBE, they say the 10 rules. Okay. BSB says tablets. Look at this right here. The Hebrew. Oh, beautiful. This is beautiful. Somebody take a snapshot. Okay, we take a snapshot. All right. The 10 words. You see that right there? The 10 words. That's what it is. Chavarim. So in Exodus chapter 20, I keep saying Deuteronomy, but in Exodus chapter 20, but the 2 quotes in Deuteronomy. So we have it in Exodus. So the 2 books of the Torah where it speaks of the 10 words is in Exodus chapter 34 and in Exodus chapter 34 and in Deuteronomy, right? The 10 words, all right? Just to bring out this right here. Let's see how they translate it. They say 10 commandments, false, right? Easy English, false, right? Let's go down to here, right? Let's scroll down to here. All the Hebrew says the same, right? All the Hebrew says the same. Both the Masoretic and even the LXX in Hebrew says the same. Here it says 10 commandments. ISV is false. ISV follows in KJV's falsity right there, right? Here they tell you that it's words, not commandments, right? Because what's the difference between a word and a commandment, right? Over here it's interesting because here's the Greek, right? The Greek, right? Let's do this right here, the Greek, right? Let's go from this, right? Let's bring this up right here. Let's see, do we have Greek? There you go to Greek. Look, here, logia, the decalogia,
10 λόγιους.
they say loyus, because they pronounce the G as a Y, right? But decalogos, logo, like the logos, yeah, 10 reasons. But this is even better, you know what I mean, than the word commandments because it confused. We showed you the proper word for commandment, and then we show you the false translation, right? Right, so, okay, so we went to the Greek. So 2 or 3 witnesses. We'll make sure we're thorough with this, right? 10 commandments, that's false, right? The NET one is false. And surprisingly, the NHEB, they follow the King James too, and they say 10 commandments, right? This is wild. This is wild, really. This is really wild. I can see maybe back in the past. Here, down here, WEB, they even say 10 Commandments, right? When it's clear that Aseret is the 10 of the words, right? Aseret Hadivarim is the 10 of the words, the 10 words, right? So this is an important verse here, right? Hold on for a moment. Let's bring this out right here. This is an important verse right here because this is the first one, 34:28, right? 34:28. Because it says, and he wrote. So we're talking about the tablets, the two tablets. And he wrote upon the tablets. What did he write upon the tablets? The divrei berit, the words of the berit, right? Let's just look at this again. The words of, was it Hebrew? It says, divrei the berit. The words of the berit, the words of berit, the covenant, habrit, right? The Aseret Hadibarim, the 10 words. So what are the words of the covenant? The words of the covenant of the Berit are 10 words. 10 words. Right? Then we have Deuteronomy 4:13 and 10 and 4. Right? For the other two verses. Right? The only three places in the scripture. Because one time when I said, oh, the 10 Commandments are not in the Bible. Right? Of course, somebody went to the Bible and they said, oh, look, they're in the Bible. Right? And so, point well taken. We had to make our point much more clear, right? And then we hope and pray that we've made this particular point clear because it's very important. You know what I mean? This is very important. This is like the first, right? This is the principle. Like this is like a precept point right here, right? Let's go over here. This is another way of bringing it out. So we really love this meme right here. The ones and ones who did this, thank you so much. You know, may Yah bless you, you know, for your work and your labor because this was so accurate. This like on the page and brought out exactly, you know, 10 Commandments, strike that, right? No such thing as 10 Commandments in the Hebrew scripture. There's no such thing. There's 10 words. See, because the 10 words, check this out, the 10 words is, according to the Hebrew scripture, the Torah, the 10 words is the commandment. The 10 words is the commandment. What we're looking like on the time, right? If we have time, right? Because usually we have shorter than an hour presentation. We'll get to longer ones again, but usually shorter than an hour presentation. We'll go to James, right? We'll go to James, right? We'll go to James. Because